All right, welcome in. It's time for Total Bases on Tuesday, on $5 Tuesday at Wager Talk every Tuesday. We'll have plays up for $5, and I'm glad we get a chance to redo from at least for myself. I was talking to the guys behind the scenes here before we get the show started. The last couple days, I feel like I haven't got a single MLB opinion correct. Some of the stuff I'm watching is baffling. That's where I'm going to start in a minute, but. I guess, Brian, I'm happy that I've only made 2 MLB bets since Friday because I've saved money in that regard. And hopefully we can take that and go forward. So listen, sometimes a bet you don't make that loses is just as good as a win, right? Because if you lose it, you're going to have to win it back at some point. So we need to lock in. It's Tuesday. We've got the full slate back. But I need to vent for a minute. I got to talk about the Royals. So let's start where we did yesterday. Royals Guardians. I had the Royals yesterday. It was my only play. Never in a million years did I expect them to be just DOA, no chance, lifeless, just zero shot, 2 games out of a playoff spot against Slade Cecconi on the mound. Yeah, I know Bobby Wick Jr. didn't play. I even wrote that up that I thought he probably wouldn't. Or if he didn't, I handicapped the game with him out of it. But Brian, that was as lifeless of a performance, top to bottom. Coaching staff, pitching, every at-bat was terrible. That's a team 2 games out of a playoff spot. I don't even know what to make of it, and now I don't really know where to go with the rest of this series. I do hope for your sake, as a fan, that the Guardians let them bleed out. I want to see them step on the throat, watch the Royals bleed out the next 3 days, because that team just doesn't deserve it after that. That was awful. Totally not ready to play. Where does this series go from here? Do you like the Guardians' chances?
Yeah. If anyone wanted to hear what Adam sounds like when he's pissed,
I'm just Brian. Pissed at the lack of effort. TB, that was a playoff game. That was a playoff game.
Listless for sure. Listless.
Yeah, you weren't the only one that struggled yesterday. I've been riding high, and yesterday I had the Washington team total over, and I didn't need 11 of those runs. Could have used some of my Arizona. Had a 3-0 lead early on and blew it. Yeah, not a good day for me. Not a good day overall. I was supposed to meet somebody down on the strip. Drove all the way down the strip, and then I realized I'm supposed to meet him today, not yesterday. So my entire day was a waste yesterday. So hopefully we can get it back for you today. Cameron going against Castillo here, both lefties. We got Cleveland about a 125 favorite. Total of 7.5 in the over. I talked about that yesterday with the total. I know the wind's blowing in. It's very similar today to yesterday, about 11 miles per hour blowing in. But these 2 starters are a whole lot better than the guys they had yesterday, and we're still getting the same number. Yesterday I said it was too low. Now I understand why it's where it is, and it makes a lot more sense. We've got going in this game, as I mentioned. Kansas City, you pointed it out. They did not show. They did not look good at all. And it really blows me away how they could have done that. But that's why they're not making the playoffs. Cleveland's not making the playoffs either. So don't get too excited if you're a Cleveland fan. I've said this all along, that none of these teams are behind or are going to make it. And so far, there has been no really moves in the records going over. So all the teams out of the playoffs are still out of the playoffs. Cameron, 7-6 record, but a 3.03 ERA, 3.67 expected, 1.13 whip. Very good at barrel percentage, hard hit rate, average exit velocity, but he does struggle a little bit. He's not beating anybody with his fastball. He's in the 20th percentile fastball velocity, and he still throws that to most of all his 5 pitches, but all of them are anywhere from 15 to 28, which is something I like. Cleveland, on the other hand, will go with Joey Cantillo. 3.73 ERA, 3.77 expected, 1.40 whip, and that's been his problem. It's the walk rate, 12.1% this year. Last year was 9.2. Major League Baseball average is 8.4. So he is wild, and when he does get wild, the other team does not have to stand around, and they can just wait for something in the middle. And you could show that by looking at his chase percentage in the 1st percentile, walk rate in the 5th percentile, fastball velocity in the 12th. So he's got great extension, 99th percentile, and his whiff rate 85th and strikeout rate 83rd. But you can just stand up there, and they could throw a lot of pitches. Eventually, he's going to walk you. And so there's no real reason for them to swing early in the count. That always concerns me here. But I like these two guys better than yesterday. So I can understand the total a little bit more, but I don't want to get involved here.
Guys, it's $5 Tuesday. I don't have a play up yet, but I will, and I'm sure my colleagues here will as well if they don't already. We will probably be putting free plays up too, so go to wagertalk.com and click the free plays page and see what we got there. It only takes 10 seconds. Yeah, I won my third 5% play this week yesterday on Seattle Mariners -1. And I want to address someone in the comments yesterday when I said, don't overthink it. Just take the fourth best pitcher, Crochet, and the better team. Someone said, TB, you're such a lazy capper. Who was that yesterday? Do you guys remember? Raise your hand. Who was that? Anyways, I'm not petty at all. So anyway, no, you didn't, Bryan. I'm not petty at all. So regarding this, I loved Noah Cameron to start the season, but man, has he tailed off recently. And I liked the Royals, but they've tailed off as well. Listless, I think, is the best word to describe their performance recently, including yesterday. My numbers have Cleveland favored in almost every category here, but just favored by like 2 points in each category. So it's not enough to make a play on, but it's overwhelmingly in favor of them. Neither team's really batting that well. Both bullpens performing extremely well. And here's something about Mr. Hawaii, Joey Cantillo. He's only allowed 1 earned run in each of his last 3 starts. So that's pretty good. I think I would like to take a Royals team total under here if I'm going to bet this game. I haven't looked to see what it is yet. I'm a little late. I got tied up in a bunch of stuff today, so I haven't actually put a play out and done all my numbers yet today. But a Royals under looks kind of delish here, or the full game under I'm considering. That's how I would go if I'm going to bet this game. Who was that yesterday that told me I'm a lazy capper? Raise your hand. Go ahead, Adam.
That was a good call on the Red Sox. I did a free pick video for that one where I kind of, gave my handicap for the A's, but also like kind of talked myself off of it at the same time. It felt weird to go against Crochet after he got blown up. I don't think it was lazy at all. I just think, it's, and obviously you were right. So no problem there.
I'm not thumping my chest against you guys. I'm just mad at the one guy who made that comment in the comments. So I'm not trying to show up you guys because I lose just as much as the next guy.
I think Bryan kind of leaned toward the Red Sox there too. Anyway.
I like the Red Sox. I was just out of my price range. I didn't think we were getting value, and I'm in an all-in value. That's if you don't like playing ugly teams, you don't want my plays. I mean, I'm going to get you see it in the parlay all the time. I've always got plus money on underdogs in the parlay for the most part. So that's just the way I handicap.
TB, I'm with you on looking at a Royals team total under. So I was pissed last night. Like I couldn't believe. Normally I don't turn the game off. I stop watch, especially if I bet it. Like I typically I'm a big like let's let the 9 innings play out, see where it ends up. And I shut that game off after the 5th inning. I was so disgusted. Turned on Monday Night Football and sat there and like scout. Like I just sat there and scoured Royals Twitter to see how like if the fan base was as upset as I was. And one of the things that one of the beat writers was talking about is Bobby Witt Jr. hasn't swung a bat yet. That's they made it seem like he was probably going to go yesterday. Now, if you read my write-up, I talked about him likely, I thought that the line had him priced out. So I was fine with it because I figured out, well, they're going to play it's Slade Ciccone. We're going to get some runs off this guy anyway. So not only do they not score off him and he's a guy that's essentially a BP pitcher, just throwing it over the plate. Here it is. See what you can do. Not only could they not hit him, now you talk about Joey Cantillo coming in here. The Royals don't hit left-handed pitching well. And guess who's the one guy that actually hits lefties very consistently in that lineup? His name's Bobby Witt Jr., and he has yet to pick up a baseball bat. Per the Royals beat writer that was on Twitter, which I could probably find him, like he hasn't touched a bat yet. So he's run. Quartaro said he's run. He's done all his baseball activities. He has not swung a bat yet. That is like beyond concerning to me. And that effort yesterday makes me think that maybe internally they know he's not going to be around for a little bit. Like this might be one of those things where they're just trying to keep it close to the vest. But that I think that team knows they can't win without him. And that effort last night looked like a team that knows that maybe he's going to be out for a few days and they have no shot. Because there's no other way to explain just the lack of focus, the lack of effort, and then the management basically letting Burgett just go out there and get bombed, because they had Daniel Lynch, they had Bolin, and they had their couple top relievers. That was like a 2-3-0 game in the fourth inning. It didn't need to get that out of control. So I'm wondering if that means that they maybe think Witt is gone till later in the week, and maybe they just decided that maybe they made a business decision, Bryan, let him just get pummeled and hope they have their top dogs for when he comes back. But that's discouraging. And I'll go back to what TB said. If you get Witt out of the lineup, I think that Royals team total under probably moves. And my gut tells me he's probably not playing today if he hasn't swung a bat yet. So, go ahead.
If he doesn't come back in 4 days, they're going to be out of the playoffs. Why bring him back?
Out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, this is one of those things where, do you think this is like we get to Friday, they've lost 3 or 4 to the Guardians, and now he's like retroactively on the IL, probably done for the season? When I read that he's yet to swing a bat, that is so concerning, because if he feels discomfort on one swing, he's not going to play tonight. And the Royals, the Guardians will go to -140, and the Royals team total under will no longer be playable. So if you like either of those things, I think you got to get in now. All right. We're off to a flying start here. As TB said, I came in angry today. I am angry. I don't like to lose. So I'm pissed off. I want to find some winners.
Give him a Snickers bar, will you?
Snickers bar. Yeah.
I mean, to Betty White.
I'm not hungry. I just ate. I'm just pissed. I don't like losing. So, and I don't like when a team I bet on just straight up no shows. And that's what happened to me yesterday. All right. I got into a little back and forth. Aaron Pauling on Twitter asked about this game, and I felt bad because I didn't have much of an opinion. But it ended up turning into a kind of the shit show that I expected. This is going to be Nats Marlins. So PSI in the chat says Nats. Well, that's certainly what it turned into yesterday. That was a 15-7 Nationals win, on the heels of the Nationals pulling off one of the crazier comebacks on Sunday. I don't know if everyone was watching football. You basically had Daniel Palencia blow a game and then pretty much end his career all in one outing, that the Nats managed to come out and win. So, hey, maybe the Nationals have a little juice now. It's going to be the Nats on the road. Adam Mazur, it looks like, for the Marlins. Bryan, Leonard, this just looks like another game where it kind of looks like a mess. I don't know. Do you just back runs here again? Are either of these pitchers holding the other team down at this point? Does anyone have any bullpen? How are you seeing Nats Marlins?
Well, the Nationals gone 6-4 their last 10. Marlins 3-7. Marlins looked bad yesterday. I think this team, they have a lot of good young players on this team, but they're getting worn out. This is got to keep in mind, this is a really long season, and in the minor leagues, they're still playing. Other than, I believe, A and Double A, or A and A Advanced A are out, but they're still playing, and it's a long season. They've been up and down to the minors. A lot of these guys, maybe they're just wearing out at this point. They overperformed up until a few weeks ago, and now it's starting to catch up to them. The problem is, I don't want Parker. I don't want anything to do with Parker right now. He's one of the worst pitchers in Major League Baseball. He's a lefty going against Miami. Mazur going for the Marlins. We're looking at Mazur about maybe a 120 favorite, a total of 8.5 here to the over. That would be the way I would always look at this, with the over. But after scoring all those runs, how many times do we see a team do it again? Usually it balances out the next day. Mitchell Parker, good extension, 87th percentile. Everything else is terrible. Expected ERA second percentile, expected batting average second, average exit velocity first, strikeout rate fourth, hard hit rate first, 5.87 ERA, and it's legit. His expected is 5.97. Terrible whip, 1.48, and it's not from walking people. It's from just giving up too many hits. Want no part of Mitchell Parker. Adam Mazur comes in 5.74 ERA, 4.92 expected, 1.53 whip. His whip has been terrible too, but he's only thrown 49 major league innings in 2 seasons, 1-5 record, 6.93 ERA, 1.72 on the whip. There is the only thing you could take a look at. He's got limited innings, but his facts velocity has been very good. Hard hit rate's been very good. And he doesn't walk a lot of guys. 6.8% walks after 13.9 last year in 584 pitches. Maybe it's just a small sample size this year. But overall, I think he's better than Parker. And with the line of 120 here, they're basically saying he's slightly better. But does anybody really trust either one of these teams at this point? I don't like the pitchers. It would be over nothing for me. And luckily, I don't have to bet that. So I'll likely be passing on this.
Yeah, Parker's just a terrible pitcher. But looking at Mazur's last few starts, he's been rocked pretty well too. My numbers, neither one of them have pitched enough innings in the last 30 days to register. So I don't really have a ranking for them. But I do know that Miami's bullpen right now is ranked 28 in current form out of 30 teams, and their lineup is ranked 28 out of 30 in current form. Washington's lineup ranked 22. So we got 2 teams that just can't hit right now. Washington has a slight bullpen advantage, but neither bullpen is above average, and neither starting pitcher is above average. If the lineups were ranked at least average or better, I would like to take an over here, but just given the flaccid state of both of these lineups, I don't even have confidence enough to bet an over here, even though the pitching is awful. So I'm going to stay away from this. This looks like a mud bath or something. This is a crap show. Not going to bet it.
Yeah, I don't know how the Marlins could possibly be favored. Kyle Stowers had a setback. He will not be back. He's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one that they just hang it up for the year. He played at Jacksonville last week, got scratched, I think, on Saturday or Sunday. I initially thought, oh, they took him out because they're going to call him back up. He's ready to go. Looks like he had a setback, and now you're sitting here on September 9th. He's had a great season. There's no point in having him play meaningless baseball for 3 weeks. So they won't be getting him back. The Marlins, like Bryan said, this is a team that they had a lot of their young guys up early. So, a lot of their youngsters were making their way up in April and May, and they played well. And I think they've just run out of gas. It's a long season. For some of these guys, it's the longest season that they'll have played, being as it's the first year in the bigs. And then Adam Mazur is someone that just he just has not really. I thought this was going to be a really nice year for him. He comes from the Padres organization. He got a taste at the big league level last year. They decided to start him at AAA, where he looked really good earlier this year, and he just hasn't really been able to sort of figure it out. 5.32 ERA in the month of April, most of which was at AAA. Gets the call last time out against this Nationals team, 10 hits over 6 innings. Does Mazur have it in him to make an adjustment? Probably not. The guys like that are just recently called up, like a AAA type guy that's new and early in his career. I don't know that he's been around long enough to figure out in, what was that, 6 or 7 days, like how to do something differently than he's done it to this point. That's an off-season thing for a guy like Mazur, probably not start to start. So the other thing, I went to this series when it was in Rochester, Jacksonville. So these guys, not only do they play all the time at the big league level, their AAA teams played this year, which isn't always the case. I think they played at least 6 games against each other. A lot of these guys have been up and down. So you're at the point of the year where you've had 2 pitchers. Both these teams have had lots of exposure to very average pitching. Neither team has any bullpen. So the only way I could play this would be over 9. I still think you're getting about a half run of value, being that over 9 is like a key number. Like the difference between 9 and 9.5 on an over is a big deal. And so here you get the over 9. Yeah, maybe you don't get 22 runs like yesterday, but certainly each team getting 4 is reasonable. And then you've got the Nationals just shouldn't be an underdog. I mean, these 2 teams are so bad. I don't know how you really have a great handicap here, but the Marlins being minus 120 doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So value on the Nats, I like the over, and that's where I'm going to leave this one. All right. I wanted to touch that game because we had people ask about it yesterday. We didn't talk about it. So Titan CT says, can we discuss Brewers Rangers? So let's get back to the meaningful baseball, I suppose, Brian. The Rangers are another team that I've left for dead probably 4 different times this year. Yeah, here they are, right in the mix. That AL, no one wants to put that last spot away, apparently. And the Texas Rangers are another team hanging right around on the fringe. They're going to have to beat the Brewers to stay in it. But we've talked about this for weeks. The Brewers are kind of in the sort of go through the motions range right now. They're not really playing quote unquote meaningful ball the last couple weeks. It's really about getting to the playoffs healthy. Texas Rangers, 1.5 games out of that last spot, chasing the Mariners. Do you have any interest in the Rangers today?
Right now, we've got Chad Patrick's supposed to be back up to pitch for Milwaukee. I think I read that yesterday, and he's on the chart.
Yeah.
The thing is, StatCast does not have him listed, and they don't have a way for me to click on him, so it'll be a short one for me. Yeah, we've got Milwaukee against Texas. Leiter going for Texas. Texas won about a 110 home favorite, 8.5 to the under. I thought Leiter's pitched pretty well lately, and Milwaukee, as was mentioned, they don't have to win any games right now. They're just trying to stay healthy. I kind of like Texas off the number. I thought it was going to be a little bit more on Leiter. He comes in 3.74 ERA, 4.51 expected, 1.29 WHIP. His extension is very good. Fastball velocity is very good, but he does have a lot of blue on his StatCast page. I think he's better than what his numbers show. I followed him for many years, obviously, because of the last name. And he's finally starting to show that he can pitch at this level, still dealing with inconsistency. And that's what you're going to have a lot of these young pitchers. So slightly prefer Texas here. I think it's a cheap number. I think that she probably should be about in the 120 range, but I don't think it's enough to get me involved here.
Guys, it's $5 Tuesday. Go to wagertalk.com and see what we have up with free plays as well. Also, go to the replay of this and leave a comment. We read them all and we answer most of them. And we appreciate you guys watching and commenting and giving us some of your insight as well. It's actually quite eye-opening. So I think we have the most educated audience of all Wager Talk shows. So regarding this one, this is the tightest contest I have. My numbers have this, the tightest contest. Not even a point separates these two teams in this matchup today. I got Patrick ranked about 7 points higher than Leiter. But I got Texas's bullpen about 7 points higher than Milwaukee's in current form. And then I got the lineups almost even. Milwaukee maybe a slight edge, but very negligible. So I'm not going to bet a side, that's for sure. Leiter used to be one of my chronic walkers, but he's actually got the walks down now. He's only walking 2.2 per 9 now. Per game. It's pretty good. Milwaukee does have very disciplined batters. They're walking almost 3.5 per game. But I only projected 2.8, and so I'm not going to bet Leiter's walks here. So there's really no way I can go here. I'm kind of stuck. So I'm not going to bet this one. It's too tight.
Yeah, so I see Queen Rocks in the chat. It says, like, Mets do not bet list for me. Here's the problem. Like there's, and I don't think the Mets is a great example of this, but I do think there's some teams right now, especially in the National League, Brewers, Cubs, like where they're kind of locked in, Phillies, where they're kind of locked into their spot. And then, the next 3 weeks are going to be very experimental. I think the Mets hope that would be the case for them, but suddenly the Giants are like, hey, you might have to win a few games. Reason I bring that up now is like the Brewers are probably the team that's most in that spot. I mean, this is a team that's 89-56. The next best team in the National League is the Phillies with 84 wins. So not only have they completely won their division already, but like even the Phillies would need to like win a bunch of games just to put some pressure on them. So it is going to be Chad Patrick. They're really just sort of, and when I say going through the motions, I don't think the players so much are going through the motions as much as it's like the coaching staff just spreading the innings around. Hey, let's get Chad Patrick a start. Maybe we get this guy some innings. We're not going to tax our bullpen. It's going to be every other day, maybe every third day. And what that means is you're not going to get, like, at the end of a game, you might not get like leverage arms in their normal spots. It's really just about getting an inning or two here and there, staying fresh, because we're a playoff team. Now, the Rangers are an interesting scenario because you got a team that I think maybe felt like they were out of it at some point, and suddenly they're very much back in. 7-3 their last 10 games, back-to-back wins, a game and a half out of the wild card. And I think if you're the Rangers, you're looking at the Mariners like, we're better than this team. Rangers run differential this year, plus 87, Mariners plus 34. Rangers have had great pitching top to bottom all year. And you know what? Jack Leiter is nasty. And here's the thing about Jack Leiter. The organization did him no favors. The way they called him up, put him back down, called him up, put him back down. They essentially called Jack Leiter up in the emergency start spot like 3 different times. You typically don't do that to prospects. Typically, the guy that gets the 27th man emergency start, hey, we need you, but we're probably going to send you back down type thing, is a journeyman guy where they don't care if he's a piñata at the big league level. It's like, come, do your job. If you get rocked, it's all good. You're going back down. You don't do that to kids usually because, guy like Jack Leiter, he's part of your future. He's they're a little bit more fragile, right? Like they have confidence issues. If they come up and get bombed, it messes with their confidence. I truly believe that was the problem for Leiter. Colin pointed out in the chat, look how good he's been. August, 2.76 ERA for the Rangers, a batting average against of 209. And then he starts off September, last time out, 6 innings, 2 runs against the Diamondbacks. Leiter's a play on for me right now. This is one of the few angles I'm considering today. So we'll circle back by the end of the show, but I do like the Rangers. This might be my parlay league. Go ahead, Bryan.
Yeah, I just want to touch on 2 things. First of all, when you're looking at injuries for this Brewers team, we've got where did I lose my spot? One of the starters earlier in the season that had a lot of success that's been on the IL. He's not playing, and that'll be Trevor McGill. He had a setback. They thought he was coming back. And I didn't understand the move. They just sent Yoho back down to the minors. And
yeah, that's
he's supposed to be your closer of the future. You want him in these games. These games are not important. These are the kind of games you should use him in. And, they still have Eric Fetty on the Major League roster. Why do you do that? I don't understand. I don't know. But, yeah, it's a Milwaukee team that you've got to take a look at every game separately. The motivation is not going to be there. But I still like the players on this team. They still got a very good manager, and they can win any game they play.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yoho should be the guy closing games right now for the Brewers.
I think some teams are actually not trying to win. It's really weird, but I think they're actually not trying to win. Some teams. I don't know why.
I think the Brewers look and say, we've done enough. We're in great position. We like where we're at. So we're going to like manage the next 3 weeks to like put us in the best possible scenario to go into the playoffs. Yeah. But like, I guess what Bryan and I are saying is like, Yoho's a guy that I look at and say, like, he could probably help you in the playoffs if he is what they expect him to be. So, and he's a younger guy. Like, why would you not put him out there and give him the chance to fail a little bit at the big league level? Because he's been
this
great.
This is the perfect time to do it too. Playing against major leaguers when you don't have to win the game. It's the perfect opportunity to get him some AAA. It's a perfect time to get him some major league experience. Yeah, perfect time. No pressure.
I will say this though: the Brewers are super particular about how they develop pitchers, and there must be a good reason. That's the one thing I'll say with the Brewers is they do such a good job at developing pitching. They must have a reason for it. And it'll be interesting to watch. I expect him. What's today? The 9th? I expect Yoho to be up for at least the last 2 weeks of the season at closing games, getting big leverage spots for them. It'd be irresponsible not to. Bryan, go ahead. Were you going to?
That's all I have to say.
All right, let's move it along. Mark Hinson says, can we cover Tigers Yankees? Another interesting one here because the Tigers sort of fall into that spot as well. Right? Like where their position's kind of set. I talked about this for, the last couple of weeks. I said, this is going to be very experimental roster in September. It's going to be a borderline tryout for the playoffs, because I don't think AJ Hinch has any clue who like the last 7 guys are on his playoff roster yet. And he's the type of guy that's going to have a really good reason for every person he brings to the playoffs, because that's how he coaches. So Brian, what does that do to the Tigers now? I want to see if I have, what have they done recently? What's their, I don't have it off the top of my head, and my screen is frozen.
Tigers 4-6.
So yeah, 4-6 their last 10 games.
Yeah, the Yankees are last 10. It's gone 7-3. They're playing very well. Only 2 games behind Toronto right now.
Yeah. So Tigers, Yankees, go ahead.
Yeah. Right now we're looking at Mize against Warren. Warren's about a 155 favorite, 8.5 to the over. I'm actually seeing, Pinnacle's got 8 to the over. So if you like the over there, it's minus 114. That's pretty good if you're playing outside the United States. Mize and Warren here. Mize has been a guy who's had a really nice season, 13-5 record, 3.87 ERA, 3.75 expected, 1.30 whip. That's the best whip he's had in his 3 seasons. It was 1.5, 1.47, now down to 1.3. Still too high. 1.3 is still too high. I'd prefer anything under 1.2 if I'm looking at it. But he's had a pretty good season. But if you take a look at his strikeout to walk ratio, it's only 14.7, which is lower than league average. He's got very good extension. Walk rate's been pretty good. But everything else, even though he's got that 13-5 record, I would count him as an average major league pitcher. Will Warren, very inconsistent here. Brandon was talking about the gentleman earlier that was very inconsistent. Will Warren's been that way. 4.28 ERA, 4.48 expected, 1.39 whip, another whip that's really too high. Walk rate last year, 9.1. This year, 9.7. Strikeout minus walk rate, 15.0. Very good extension. Strikeout percentage pretty good, but he's gotten hit hard too. He's despite the 8-6 record, he's got an average exit velocity 6 percentile, chase rate 6th, barrel 14th, hard hit 10th. So we got 2 guys here that I don't really believe in as being very good starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, and we could get over 8.5 here. It's a good hitting ballpark. It's New York. It's a whole lot different than Detroit. Let me take a look at the park factors for today. Yankee Stadium. Okay, here we go. Yankee Stadium, winds blowing in. The park factor says 11% normal than their normal games. So that's why we're getting a decent number there. The wind is blowing in, probably enough to keep me off of the game. But I'm not a big fan of either one of these starters. But I'll set this one out.
Will Warren is pretty inconsistent. But if you look at his last starts, besides this 5 earned run game he had against the Yankees, he's been pretty good. I mean, 2 earned, 0, 5. That's not good. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. It was pretty good. And most of those games he's finishing 5 innings. Not too bad. His ERA at home is 3.3. It's not too bad either. Much better than I like him a lot more than Casey Mize. Mize on the road has a 4.26 ERA against the Yankees in his career. Pretty average stats, right on the Mendoza line as far as OPS and batting average against. Where the Yankees have a big advantage here is the bullpen. I got their bullpen ranked 8, where I got Detroit's ranked 26 in current form. That doesn't mean they're that bad always and forever. It just means right now that's how they're performing. I kind of like the Yankees here. I haven't played it yet. Man, they're such a good home team. What are they? 47-26 at home or something? Yeah, 43-29 at home. Pretty good record. But the Tigers are an excellent road team. It's pretty rare you see a Major League Baseball team with a winning record on the road, but the Tigers have it, 36-33. And the Tigers have 2 more wins than the Yankees. So I'm a little hesitant to play them, but if I were to play it, it would be the Yankees or nothing.
Yeah, I as far as starting pitching is concerned, I have Mize and Warren very similar. So I don't think I'm going to really I'm not going to get much on a handicap here from the starters. I think they're both inconsistent. They can both be hit. There's more stuff I don't like about either than I like. So it wouldn't be a bet on the starting pitching for me, but I will double down on something I've been saying for the past couple weeks, which will hurt me personally because I do have some nice prices on different Blue Jays based futures. One of which was to win the division, which I placed back in like May. And these are all small, sort of futures type plays. I think the Yankees are going to run this Blue Jays team down. I said it like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to double down on that here. They come into play 2 games back. The Jays have now lost back-to-back games. They're 5-5 over their last 10. And I think this Yankees team can smell blood a little bit. And I think they're just the way that they've shown up for the past 2-3 weeks looks like a different team than the one that came out of the All-Star break and was kicking the ball all over the field in Miami, losing that series to the Marlins. So I like the direction that the Yankees are going. Tokyo Brandon brought up they feed off of that home crowd. And that's the one thing. Yankee Stadium, Yankees fans, they know, like, it's just different when it comes to September. Even right now, like, that'll be a playoff type atmosphere tonight for the Yankees. Like, and I'll go back to what I've been saying about the Tigers. This is developmental time for the Tigers. AJ Hinch is going to manage the next 3 weeks as a tryout. He's trying to build a 27-man roster that will put them in the best position to win in the postseason. The focus right now is not on like going out and sweeping the Yankees. I mean, they don't want to loot. Like, trust me, they're not. No, and I'll go back to this point that we've made a million times. No one is playing to lose. That's not what professional athletes do. It's not what professional ball players do. But I do think that the Tigers will prioritize seeing, trying to almost have not like put guys in position to fail so they can figure out who they want come October when they might need to go back here in October and win a game to advance in the postseason. Whereas the Yankees, I think they're like all in right now. I think they want this division. I think they can, like I said, they smell blood a little bit. They're 2 games back of the Jays. Do I want to lay $1.50? Not sure, but certainly the way I would bet it, Yankees are pass here for me. I like where they're going, and I'd probably play that out throughout September. If they're going to give you $1.40, $1.50 at home with the Yankees, it's really not a bad bet, in my opinion.
Just to add one thing to what Adam just said, to the conspiracy theorists who think teams are throwing games, the players never throw games. They have contract. This is their living. They make a living doing this, and they're not going to make themselves look ridiculous on national TV. The people who can actually throw the games are the coaches, the managers, no matter what sport, hockey, football, basketball. The coaches and managers can throw the game by putting crappy players in, but the players are always trying, no doubt.
Yeah, and they could do it. Like, I wouldn't put it past Hinch to like leave Mize out there, even if like to see if he can battle through it, stuff like that. Because if you're the Tigers, the only thing you need to do the next 3 weeks is figure out that 28 or however many players they let you take to the postseason. I think it's 27 or 28 now. Man roster, that's going to be your ALDS team. And so I think Mize needs a test like this, and I wouldn't put it past Hinch to leave him out there and let him get bombed. So then AJ Hinch come postseason time can be like, no, you know what? I'm going to go with 6 different relievers in game 3 of this series instead of Casey Mize. That's just how I think with this one. And that's why I think the Yankees probably get it done at some point. Okay, Mark Hinson. Let's go back to Mark Hinson. He wanted this game earlier. I missed it, but I do want to talk about this one because I said the same thing when I saw this number. Cubbies, Cade Horton, phenomenal. Having a tremendous season. Very well may be their best pitcher. I was shocked too, Brian Leonard. I had your voice in my head talking about Spencer Strider not being the same guy. Cubs were like minus 105 earlier. I think they're in the minus 105, minus 110 range right now. That seems like decent value for Horton. Are you getting involved with the Cubs today?
Yeah, I had the same thought process. Cubs opened about a 115 favorite. Atlanta 115 favorite. I thought that was a little high. It's still a little bit of value, I think, on Cubs with Horton against Strider. We're looking at Atlanta, maybe a 105 to 110 favorite at home, 8.5 here. The total, Cade Horton, 2.78 ERA, but he hasn't pitched that well. He's really 3.99 expected. 1.14 whip. And if you take a look at his StatCast page, his barrel rate's in the 14th percentile, extension on the 25th. He looks like an average major league pitcher that depends too much on his fastball. He throws it 50% of the time at 95.7, which is 0.7 faster than a normal right-handed pitcher in Major League Baseball, starter in Major League Baseball. He does throw 5 pitches, but he's throwing a four-seamer 50% of the time. I'm not a big fan of that. He's not that much better than league average in his fastball. Spencer Strider, after winning 20 games 2 years ago, healthy, with a 3.86 ERA, 109 whip. We thought he was the most dominant pitcher in baseball, and unfortunately, injuries happen. I hope it doesn't cost him. I hope he really does bounce back, because he was really exciting, and you hate to see that happen. His extension's in the 90th percentile, whiff rate 79th, but barrel rate 13th, average exit velocity 3rd percentile. He's getting hit hard. 4.97 ERA, 4.92 expected, 1.39 on the whip. He's also a guy that throws his four-seamer 53% of the time, but now, as opposed to 98 where it was, it's now down to 95.6. Still better than league average, but he was dominant with that fastball in the past, and he's just not that way any longer. His four-seamer this year has got a expected WOBA of 394. Last year a 466. So it's not the same fastball as it was, and he continues to throw it until he starts developing more off-speed pitches. He's going to struggle. And the only thing is, do I trust the Cubs hitters? Total's 8.5 here. I prefer the over here. I think this is a pretty good hitter's ballpark, but I'm not getting quite the number on the Cubs that I would want to be on them. I'd like to fade Atlanta here, but I don't fully trust this Cubs offense. So I'd probably be sitting out, as opposed to yesterday where I liked a lot of games. Today I'm having a lot of trouble. Luckily, they're all on the evening card, so I've got more time to study these games. But I do have a 4% up for $5 Tuesday. It's in college football on Friday, and hope you give that a look. But other than that, it's not a good day for me in Major League Baseball, at least at this point. We'll see how it goes.
So on yesterday's show in this matchup, I told you that Elder had really good numbers against these Cubs, and I actually made the Cubs team total under my leg of the parlay, under 4.5, and they only scored one.
The only winner, yeah.
Despite I'm not trying to say I'm great and everything. I'm just saying that I think was an anomaly, because I still have the Cubs ranked number 4 in hitting in MLB in current form, despite the fact that they choked yesterday. So what I'm saying is not how wonderful I am. What I'm saying is that yesterday I think it was an anomaly, because Elder just dominates these batters throughout his career. Cubs still have a talented lineup. So when I first saw this matchup, I was thinking, wow, got to be Cubs. And then I broke it down. Atlanta's bullpen is ranked 26 in current form, and their hitting is ranked 20. Oh, I'm sorry. Scratch what I just said. I got the Cubs ranked 17 in hitting. My fault. My bad. It's their bullpen that's ranked number 4. So the Cubs have a huge bullpen, and they have a huge pitching advantage here. They still have an advantage over Atlanta, despite being ranked 17, because I have Atlanta ranked 20. But I think yesterday, the reason they were so down was because they were facing a pitcher who's dominated them throughout his entire career. So I don't think that'll be the case today. I would like to play the Cubs here. I have not done it yet. I saw someone in the chat saying that they'll take Cubs first 5. There's no need to take them first 5, in my opinion, because their bullpen is performing really good right now, really well right now. I got them ranked 4. Yeah, I mistook the column. The bullpen column for the hitting column. So yeah, their hitting is a little lackluster right now, but Atlanta's is more lackluster. And I think the reason the Cubs only produced 1 run yesterday was because they went up against a pitcher that has dominated them. And I don't think that's going to happen today. Although Strider does have decent numbers against these guys, but that's when he was good, and something's off with him. He's had 1 good start where he gave up 1 earned in 7. The rest of his starts, he's given up 5, 7, 8. I mean, he's just getting shelled. He's not the same. Something's wrong with him. I don't know if he's injured or if it's mental, but something's wrong with him. I would back the Cubs here. I might actually do it after the show.
I might too, TB. I'm very much long term all in on Cade Horton, and like we talk about organizations that mess up younger guys. Like the Cubs, I think, have a great track record of identifying young talent and then sort of like, not like letting them move along at their own pace, not rushing them. And you see some of the, like, just look at someone like Matt Shaw, who they really sort of like let him sort of mature at his own pace, got him up there, wasn't as good at one point, goes back down. Next time he comes up, he's great. Horton, they had if they listened to their fans, or like if they got like influenced by, okay, he was a first rounder, 2022, 7th overall pick, 2022, came out of college. So they never even put him in the minors in 2022. They let him go to the complex because he had so many innings coming off of a college season at Oklahoma. 2023, never had him go higher than AA, even though everyone was like talking, like, get him up. 2024, let him pitch most of the year at AAA. There was people that were calling for him last year, and it was like, no, like they really let him take his time. Didn't even call him up till May this year. And like after his last couple starts, like I'm all in on him. I think he's a big league ace. I think there's some stuff that he's going to probably iron out going into the offseason, but like I'm very, very confident with where he's at, his ability to go out, throw 5 or 6 innings at this point. He's got a couple of blowups, but he's been very good. And I just like right now, if you can give me Cade Horton with this Cubs team at -105, and my alternative is the Braves, who are out of it, Strider, who hasn't been himself all year. Like, I'm going to take the Cubs -105, -110 in that spot all day. So I'm with you, TB. I'm like going to probably, think about it. I'll tell you what, though, that'll be my parlay late. I'm at least going to get it down in the parlay. So let's go Cubbies. What are we looking at for a price right now, Brian? I don't know what it is. I haven't looked.
Yeah, -105 each way, I think.
Coming off the loss, the Cubs are like one of those teams. They are kind of in the spot where they're locked into their spot a little bit. But this is a team that had a awful blow up on Sunday to the Nationals in a game that they led in the 9th inning. Lifeless last night. I do think that they are going to give an effort at some point this week. And that's the one thing. The Cubs are still one of the best teams in the National League. I don't know why. I feel like people forget that. Like, this is still a team that, if it wasn't for the Brewers in their division, would be a division winner this year. So I'll go Cubbies here. I like the spot.
Horton's
and I
been
love
lights
Horton.
out. Horton, 2 of his last starts, he's shut him down for 5 innings. So
he's got a
great
mix, ton of upside. I think we could see him even get better. He's going to be starting big games for them in the playoffs, and I'm just very much in on Cade Horton. I think maturity wise too, he's 24. They gave him the amount of time he needed in the minors, so I don't mind betting on him at the big league level. I think what you've seen so far this year is what you're kind of going to get out of him, and I think what that's been is like a 1.14 whip, and he's been very good. So I'll expect him to be very good here. And Robert S. says, yeah, Cubs bats have been frustrating lately, but it's still a good lineup, and they're going to break out at some point. So let's go Cubbies. That's one I'm definitely interested in for today. All right, I had one in the chat. Oh, yeah, this is the Have wants to know any opinion on Pirates Orioles. Like, I like both of these teams. I wish they weren't playing each other. These are the 2 teams, Brian, that I said were kind of play-ons for me in September. Unfortunately, they're up against each other here. So I don't know if I can get into this one, but it looks like Kyle Bradish, maybe Mike Burrows for the Pirates. Do you have anything Pirates Orioles here?
I do. I like both of these pitchers going here. We're looking at Bradish, about a 150 favorite, total of 8. I'm looking at the first half here, and we're looking at a total of 4.5. I like it under. I think both these starters are going to have a pretty good game here. I like both of them. And you're laying about 125 here. That's going to be my parlay on this game. Burrows comes in 4.08 ERA, 4.33 expected, 1.26 whip, but a lot of his better numbers have been lately. I like him. He's one of those guys that in this Pirate organization that seems to be overlooked, but he's still only 25 years old, and he's got 85 major league innings in there, 4.02 ERA. I mean, that's serviceable. But I think he's better than what he's done. Kyle Bradish, when he's healthy, he's great. Comes in with a 3.60 ERA, 2.37 expected, 1.00 whip. He's only thrown 10 innings this year, only 39 last year because of injury. So nothing is really not enough sample size for his savant page, but he's very good. I like both of these pitchers here. And both of these teams have been very inconsistent offensively. A lot of games they really surprised me how well they've hit, especially Pittsburgh. They'll go 3 or 4 games scoring 1 or 2 runs and then come up with 16. It's been one of those years for them. Baltimore, I also like their hitters, good young hitters. But in this game, I'm going to play it under 4.5 for the first half, and that'll be my part of the parlay.
Yeah, I have to agree with Bryan on this one. Guys, it's $5 Tuesday. We're going to have bets up for $5, and we're going to put free plays out as well. So go to wagertalk.com, see what we got. And also go to the replay of this video and please leave a comment for us. We will respond. Share some of your knowledge with us and tell us what action you got going on today. So I totally agree with Bryan. We got 2 lackluster lineups that are not performing well. 2 very average bullpens and 2 really good starters. I don't know. I've never been a Bradish fan, or Bradish. I don't know how he pronounces his name, but my numbers are in love with this guy. I've never been a huge fan of his, but man, the numbers love him, and numbers love Burrows too. You got 2 lackluster lineups, bullpens serviceable, and 2 really good starters. I can't disagree with Bryan's under on that one. I probably would have done that for my leg if he had not. So good call.
What's the line and the price you got there again, Bryan?
Under 4.5 minus 125.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, Kyle Bradish, velo is up. He's looked awesome. 15 strikeouts in 10 innings at the big league level so far since coming back up. And he's the exact type of guy that you want to back probably the rest of the year. This is a guy that came off a long-term injury in an organization that knew they were out of it. There was absolutely no reason to rush him back. He basically had a full spring, if you will, from a rehab standpoint, made like 6 rehab starts. So really, it's like May 1st for Kyle Bradish right now. While all these other guys are dragging, innings are getting up there, trying to get to the finish line, it might as well be May 1st for Kyle Bradish. It's like his season's just starting. And like I said, the Orioles broadcast during his last start pointed out velo is up, and his stuff's just looked straight up nasty. Like those, really his only mistake, if you will, he left a couple of pitches up that got ambushed and hit out of the ballpark. Otherwise, no one was really stringing hits together. And those are 2, he faced 2 very respectable lineups. I mean, the Padres and the Red Sox are both likely in the playoffs. And, over those 2 starts, 8 hits, 10 innings, 8 hits. He had the 4 earned runs because he let a couple balls get hit out of the ballpark, but 15 strikeouts. You know who doesn't hit ball out of the ballpark very often? It's the Pirates. They do it as little as any team in the league. So, yeah, I don't know that they're going to really have the crooked number here against Bradish. And Burrows is good in his own respect. He's another one of these guys in the Pirates organization that gets lost in the shuffle because everyone wants to talk about Skeens, Chandler, Hunter Barco, Bryan. I'm forgetting other ones. Who's Ashcraft. Yeah, there's so many good arms that a guy like Mike Burrows kind of just gets ignored. And in other organizations, I think they'd be very excited about him. So I like where your head's at here on the under. And James Barry, the first 5 under 4.5 is Bryan's play here, and that'll be his leg for the parlay. Tokyo Brandon, have we talked about your leg yet, or do you want to throw the last game out here?
We already talked about it, so we can do one game, and I'll just come at the end and say what it is. But yeah, we covered it already.
All right, yeah, let's squeeze one more in here. Someone in the chat wanted to talk Zebby Matthews, so I think it's we could get that one done quick. I had a little bit of an opinion there. It's Twins Angels, not exactly a game that means much, but Bryan, we kind of talked about, thinking Zebby could turn a corner at some point. This looks like a relatively good matchup for him. Are you liking the Twins and Zebby at all here?
Yeah, he's pitched pretty well as of late. Much more consistent. He's about a 115 favorite against Kyle Hendricks, a total of 9. These are two guys that we talked about last time they pitched and had some good numbers. Both of them did pretty well. Hendricks, last month or so, he's been pitching very well. As I say, it's a long season, while other people get tired, Kyle Hendricks has been a guy, when healthy, he's pitched a lot of innings for the Cubs and now for the Angels. We've got two teams that I really don't trust the hitters. The Angels are a lot of like the Yankees, home runs or nothing. And Minnesota is a team that doesn't really hit a lot of home runs. They're more like the Pirates. They keep the ball in play. With these two going, I kind of like the under a little bit here. It's at 9. Zebby Matthews comes in 4.73 ERA, 4.21 expected. His whip's still high, 1.42. Barrel rate is in the 17th percentile, ground ball rate in the 19th. But this is it's a situation where I like him overall. Throws 6 different pitches, doesn't throw his four-seamer a lot, only 39%, but it is at 96.3 miles per hour. So he's got the good fastball if he needs it. Kyle Hendricks, if you take a look at his numbers, his average exit velocity this year, 96th percentile, chase rate 84th, hard hit rate 90th. His off-speed run value is in the 88th percentile. That's what he does. He throws junk up there, and he's only got 4 pitches, and he only throws his fastball 15% of the time because it's 8.5 miles per hour lower than an average right-hander. He knows what he's got, and he finds a way to do it. And I like it. The numbers 4.81 ERA isn't that impressive. 4.19 expected is a little bit better. Whip about 130. That's a little bit higher than what he had earlier in his career, but he's not going to strike anybody out. His whip rate 4th percentile, strikeout rate 4th, extension 1st, fastball velocity 1st. He's not a strikeout guy, but he is a guy that gives you innings, and I like that. So, yeah, I kind of like the under in this one here. Don't trust the Twins on the road to lay it. I thought I would, but I can't get there. If it was a pick'em game, I might be more inclined to go that way, but I don't want to lay the 115, 120 here. So at this point, just an opinion on the Twins, and I do like the under.
Yeah, I don't think you can lay 120 or more for either one of these starting pitchers or either one of these teams. Pretty bad teams. We have Zebulon, and ever since a couple shows ago, I ripped his parents for giving him that name. He's actually been pitching pretty well. He had 1 clunker, but I do like him more than Hendricks. Putting these two teams together, yeah, the Angels, man, they just can't hit anything. I got the Angels ranked 25th or worse in both bullpen and batting in current form. The problem is the Twins bullpen is actually worse, but their hitting is about mediocre, around average. And I got Zebby Matthews, Zebulon, about 5 points higher than Hendricks. So if anything, I would go with the Twins, but with that bullpen, you can't trust them. Maybe take the first 5 with the Twins if I were to bet it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, two teams that are kind of hard to trust at this point. Of course, both are, the Twins have been out of it since the All-Star break. The Angels sort of gave that valiant effort to hang around. Now they're doing what we kind of, I think, talked about on the show and expected them to do, which was fade into obscurity. That's what they've done. 5-5 last 10 games, 9 games out of the wild card, so they're out of it. Minus 129 run differential is awful. That is really bad. I think the Angels might be a team that you want to play against down these last couple weeks, just because they gave it all. They gave it their all to stay in this race, and now I think it's finally that they're finally done. And so I actually like the Twins here, as tough as it is to say, because this is a team that I don't necessarily want to trust their bullpen or sort of bank on them needing to win a game. I really like Matthews. I've said it on the show 3 times. I'll say it again. He's a guy that you want to circle going into this offseason and be ready to play on him next year, because I think he's very, very close to having it figured out. And who knows, you may actually see him figure it out now and finish the year very strong, you could argue he is doing that already, right? Last 2 starts, Padres, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, no walks. That's always been a big thing for him. He's always in the zone. He doesn't walk anyone. And I think as Zebby figures out his command in the zone, because that's the thing at the big league, you can mow through the minors throwing a lot of strikes and having a big fastball like Matthews does. In the big league level, if you don't have the command in the zone, these guys will hit you. And I think that's what he's realized early in his career. That's what he's going to probably work on in the offseason, but I already think he's starting to figure it out. The White Sox last time out, they were red hot going into that game. 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. And, the 2 walks is actually an encouraging sign because it means that he's starting to pitch to the corners a little bit more. And he's okay with maybe, giving someone a free pass as opposed to throwing a fastball right down the middle that gets crushed. So I really love where Matthews is trending toward. I would probably look to bet on him the rest of the way. It's tough to bet on the Twins. But in this case, I don't like the Angels at all. I'd be willing to bet on the Twins. So Twins here for me. And if you don't like the bullpens, maybe a Zebby first 5. I think he's going to pitch good. And you know what? I'll throw one more thing out there. Hendricks, he's a numbers accumulator, but it's not like he's going to give up nothing. I don't think he's gone to start without giving up at least 1 earned run since early June. So there's a good chance the Twins will get something here at some point. Makes me like that first 5 angle for the Twins even more. All right, TB, you want to close this parlay out?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I think I'm going to take the Cleveland Guardians over the Royals today. I really liked Cameron to start the season, but I just don't anymore. And Mr. Hawaii Cantillo just pitching really well in his last few starts. So going to go with the Guardians here. Hopefully the Royals continue to be listless.
Yeah, and in your case, hopefully Bobby Witt Jr. is out another game because I think they would be really up against a lefty in Cantillo if Witt does not play tonight. And that beat writer saying he hasn't picked up a bat yet is massively concerning if you're a Royals fan, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Brian, do we have a line there for that one?
Yeah, about 118 right now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's I'll tell you what, TB, that's if Bobby Witt Jr. is in fact out again today, that's a great bet. And I think it'll probably go up to minus 130, minus 140.
I don't think I've taken Cleveland all season. Not once. But
I think I took them once and they got walked off in Arizona after leading the whole game. That's literally the only time I took them all year. So I'm with you there.
Right. Yeah, that'll be my leg. And remember, guys, it's $5 Tuesday. We're all going to have plays out. I'll tell you what mine is for those of you watching. I just put out the Cubs money line for my $5 play, so you don't have to buy mine, but take a look at what we got. We got lots of great cappers, and Brian and Adam probably have not given you their play, so go grab theirs.
I love that, TB. TB giving out a free client play, which I very much agree with. Who knows? I may end up on the Cubbies too. That's one that I'm thinking about a lot, and that is the parlay leg for me. So to recap the parlay, Cubs money line is my leg. Also a client play for Tokyo Brandon. So let's go Cubbies. TB is on the Guardians, which Brian should be happy to hear because I know he really deep down wants the Guardians to make the playoffs. Somehow, even though he doesn't think they're going to. And then Brian's on the Pirates, Orioles under, first 5 under, 4.5. So that pays plus 550. We need it to get back in the plus. I really want to finish the year in the positive in the parlay, so we need this one. Plus 550. You've got Cubs money line, Guardians money line, Pirates, Orioles, first 5 under 4.5. That's your 3-teamer for today. Another great show, guys. We're not going anywhere just because football started. We are very much all in on the bases right through the World Series. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, someone was asking for Brewers Rangers. We talked about it, so just go back to the replay. It's up live. It's up on demand on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. And while you're over there, drop us a like, maybe subscribe to the page, give us a comment. We try to read them all. Have a good day, everyone, and we'll see you guys back here in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern for more Total Bases.